You pull it. You pull it. You save. You betcha. I think my garage is really, I don't know, it's a place to get away. It's a place to chill out, turn off, switch off. You know, I hate the term man cave, but you know, it's sort of what it is. It's a place where I can store all my little trinkets and all my little collectibles and work on my cars. But I think the main thing is just a place you can bring your mates over, have a few cold ones, and disappear for a while. You know, I think that's what a garage means to me. I've been collecting, you know, a lot of things for a long while, and you know, I've been collecting tickies and wooden spoons is a passion of mine. Those old 60s, 70s wooden spoons. You know, I love anything to do with the 50s and traditional. I've even got an old trophy there from 1957. You know, I collect that sort of stuff. The only thing I don't collect is wives. I think my favourite thing in my garage is probably my hot rod. I've been building it for a little while, but I'm trying to build it like a traditional hot rod. So, you know, I've scored, you know, 1950s manifolds and carburetors and old school headlights and all that, and trying to keep the whole thing all traditional. I mean, even though it's a fiberglass car, I'm trying to keep it in, you know, like a traditional hot rod truck. I just want to relive that era. I just wish I was born back then, you know. I think not only the garage, but sometimes the person that owns the garage is just as interesting as the garage. We want to see stuff like I've got in other people's shed. It could be race cars, it could be, I mean, we could stumble across something that somebody hasn't had out and about for like 50, 60 years, and that just blow your mind. So we want to see people's garages, something interesting, and, you know, basically show everybody else. Who's not proud of a garage? So like, this is my garage, but I think, you know, if you think your garage is good as well, send us some pictures, send us some video. You can do it on Facebook, you can email us, and you never know, you might actually see it on the show.
I get this strange sensation coming over me when I come to pick you up from your job at KFC. There's nothing but roadworks and damn red lights, and if I don't get a green one, road rage, baby, trying to get to you. Road rage, honey, the things a man will do.
Hey, hi everyone. Hey guys, welcome to My Garage Rules tonight. How you going? We've got Andrew and Sean here. Hey look guys, you're in for a jam-packed show tonight. But don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself and you could be just as excited as these guys. Yeah.
Cast my bets at the Surfing Club. 21 is the game that I love. Roll them dice and shoot them craps.
Extreme Auto Expo, I took it over in 2007, and it started off as actually the Extreme Horsepower Show, and then over the years it became more of an auto expo as opposed to about an exposition of cars and not just about horsepower. And then this year we've changed that name again to the Adelaide Auto Expo, because there's not only, you know, the extreme part of the show, there's the Adelaide Hot Rod Show, there's a dream car garage, there's a new car showroom, there's like heaps of traders, so it's more of a complete auto expo now. So it's sort of evolved from 2007, 2013 to what it is now. Now it's in like 3 halls. When we started off we just had 1 hall, so it's a lot bigger.
In my mind whenever I am able, and I know someday I'm gonna make it real. Ain't no joke, listen, you can hear 'em squeal. Squeal in a big way.
do I want to build or modify a street rod car?
going?
Oh, g'day, Dave. Mate, you're just the perfect person I just bumped into. My God, what have I got in my hand here? I've just picked it up.
There, you've got our TAC brochure.
Well, this is good because I'm building a hot rod. I reckon I need this.
It's a good idea to have one of those, I can tell you.
Well, it is, and it's starting. Before I do anything, I should really get one of these, hey?
Well, before you do anything, you really should see your TAC delegate in your club or come to a TAC meeting and...
That's you.
That's yeah.
Well, we're off to a good start anyway.
Yeah.
Look, we just happen to have a chassis here, so why don't we have a look?
No worries.
Beautiful. Now, for starters, what we're looking at here is a new reproduction 34 Ford chassis. Now, being reproduction, it's sort of like, it's like the original, but it's a reproduction brand new. So this is a start of a brand new hot rod. Tell us, firstly, about the differential.
Oh, well, this one's got a 9-inch in it, but you can use any sort of rear end, independent or live as this is. And in this case, we're running coilover shockers to support it with 4-bar.
Well, that's beautiful, and I mean, this is really set up nicely too, all that nice stainless steel. And the coilovers as well, this is all available locally too?
It's all available locally, it's available from most rod outlets.
And now, look, let's move along. So we're looking at a 4-bar linkage setup on the back of this?
Yep, 4-bar rear end with a locating bar.
So if we wanted to change this to a Jag rear end or a Borg Warner, we can do that as well, obviously.
Yeah, but you should have thought about that before you started.
Before I started. That's why I needed the guide, you see. So look, the tail shaft as well, and obviously there's a very important thing to know about the tail shaft, especially around the centre here.
Yeah, well, one, it's important that it hooks the two together, but more importantly, you've got to make sure you've got a tail shaft loop, which is required on all hot rods.
So it's basically a safety feature, so if the tail shaft does let go, it actually doesn't flip your car over.
Yeah, it just rattles around, makes a lot of noise, and yeah.
and folks, make sure you get somebody who's got a sense of humour. Now, Dave, tell us, look, the transmission now, you can run a manual, you can run an auto. In this case, they're running an automatic.
Yep, running an automatic. It's the most common one because, well, we're all getting a bit older, and it's who wants to use the third foot that you don't have anyway. But yeah, you know, you can use any sort of trans, and most of them are mounted using the original engine mounts and brackets you can either buy or manufacture to support them.
Now, we're going to the exhaust here as well. Now, there was something important you were telling me about the exhaust. Is it something to do with the height?
Well, it's the height of the whole car is minimum of 100 mil, so it's got to be above 100 mil. So if your exhaust is able to clear the ground at that, you can go under your chassis. If not, in some case, you've got to go through the chassis.
All right. Well, look, we're talking a Ford chassis, but this has got a Chev motor or a Chev trans. So this is a Chev in a Ford, but you can put a Ford in a Ford. Why not?
Well, I don't know why not.
You can put a Hemi if you wanted to.
You can put just about anything you want in.
As long as it meets the guidelines.
As long as it meets the guidelines, yep.
Now let's move along to the front end here. Now this looks like a 4-bar setup, but you can run hairpins? You
can run hairpins, yep, and you can also run independent front ends.
Yes.
And you might notice the brakes on here are disc, and that is basically mandatory for all hot rods. Ventilated disc brakes, usually Ford hubs,
Commodore calipers.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit of a common thing, really, and it's parts that are readily available too, which is the bonus too, isn't it? So, like with the exhaust as well, now it's all within the chassis as well, and that's good, isn't it? If you're running a high boy.
If you're running a high boy or a open car without a bonnet, you need to make sure that the exhaust is inside the chassis, so that if anybody walking up to it can't get burnt.
Well, I tell you what, this chassis, what would you say in your opinion? This has been built really nicely.
The person that builds these chassis, and most chassis builders, do a very, very good job. They you know, really top notch.
Now the most important thing too, I just noticed, it's all boxed too. You've got to have that strength too in the chassis.
It's a good idea because yes, it does give you the strength, cuts out torsional rigidity, and makes the whole ride of the car just that little bit better.
Okay, so look, we've talked about the chassis, we've talked about the wheels and all that sort of thing, but the most important thing, we didn't get too technical in it, the most important thing is to contact your local TAC representative. So get on to you guys first to get the information. The most important thing too is that the Australian Street Rodding Federation is involved, the South Australian Technical Advisory Committee, because we're talking about it in South Australia, and the TAC is a short name for it. You assist in street rod building advice, you assist in building application information, which is very important because you've got to fill out an application and get your hot rod even started. A clear clear path for applications, which is good because you need that nice clarity when you're filling those things out.
It helps it get through the final inspection,
Well, why not?
and all that sort of
Absolutely,
stuff.
makes life a lot easier. And national building guidelines, because there's a big book of national guidelines that everyone's got to go by, and the maintaining acceptable standards on a hot rod, which is very important. But the last one there as well is a lot of people are getting cars from interstate as well. The most important thing is to make sure that they're legal too.
Yes, and the biggest mistake a lot of people are doing is buying cars from interstate, and a lot of the cars don't meet the national guidelines, they only meet the state regulations. And to save a lot of heartache and dollars, it's a good idea to have a chat to a TAC rep. You can ring me or David Johncock, where our names are on the brochure and they're also on the internet. To get advice, because in a lot of cases the cars, well, there could be $5,000 to $10,000 on top of what you buy just to get your dream car going again.
Well, I think the most important thing is like when you dig a hole, dial before you dig, right? You're building a hot rod, dial before you dig. No, dial before we do anything with building our hot rods, and you're the first port of call. Well, look, Dave, I really appreciate you coming out tonight and telling us. We're going to have a quick word to Aaron. Now, who's Aaron? You're about to find out. He's a top metalwork guy, and we're going to see him here somewhere in the workshop. We just got to try and find him. I don't know where the hell he is. Here, take this. I reckon we found him. How are you today, mate? Mate, ladies and gentlemen, this is Aaron, and mate, you are doing a fantastic job. Now, what sort of car is this?
It's the 53 custom line.
Mate, it looks like it used to be a four-door, am I right?
It was. We've changed it from being a four-door to a two-door and dropped the top.
Mate, you've done a lot of work on this, and I hope you can see this on the camera there, that you can actually see it used to be a four-door, it's down to a two-door. How big is the chop on it? What have we done there?
Roughly, we started at about 3 inches, and by the time you cut it and level it out, it's 3.5.
Wow, the whole stance of it looks great too. I mean, is that being done, lowered the suspension or anything, done anything to the springs yet?
Not yet, no, this is how the customer had it. He was already previously modified it, so we've just worked with what he's got and continued.
Now, look, you're a bit of a car freak. Let's say, now, how old, do you mind if I ask how old you are first?
25.
You're 25 years old. You've got some pretty killer cars at home as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
What do you got at home?
I got a 51 Chevy, 28 Tudor, and an FB Holden for my missus.
Oh, wow. I think we're going to have to come over and have a look at your house one day as well. Do you know what the motor's going to be yet?
I think it's some form of Ford V8, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Hey, look, we just want to look at the back of this car as well. Now, is this whole rear end going to stay like this, or are you going to change it?
Completely different, very 54 Mercury styles, but longer. So we're going to add a bunch in the back.
Now, I'm telling you, when I was chatting to you before the other day, you're saying that you did a drawing on this car, is that right?
Yep.
Well, hopefully we've got that up now, but you're a bit of an artist too then. I'm an artist, but I'm a different sort of an artist, and I think Laveria's can work out which one that is. But look, the tail light setup on this is going to be awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be 54 Mercury lights, possibly two.
They're hard to find. Where'd you get those?
Oh, well, they're just an internet find. You can get reproductions these days, but we're just retrofitting them into a custom panel we're making.
So you're 25 years old, you're a young punk, let's say. Can I use that word? I suppose we use punk, or spunk for the girls out there. But look, the whole car itself, I mean, what gets you into this? I mean, you should be into like turbo cars and drifting and all that sort of stuff, but you're into this old stuff.
I was brought up, my dad was a trimmer who worked on classic vehicles, and I've just taken the classic vehicles and added a hot rod flair to it. So.
Nice, mate. This is really good. Now, the owner of the business here, Andrew, must be very, very happy with you.
I hope so.
Now, any other plans for colour, or can't we say just yet? Is that a secret squirrel thing?
This hasn't had a colour decided on it yet at the moment, no.
So you got to do custom grille and everything, headlights and...
Yep, headlights have been done, but custom grille, yes, and all sorts of stuff.
Wow, that's awesome. And right here in Little Adelaide, everyone. So, well done. Look, Aaron, I really appreciate you taking the time to see us today. And look, I know it was sort of off the cuff sort of thing, quickly, let's go see Aaron. But look, this is awesome. I mean, from a four-door to a two-door to a chop to white wall tyres. White walls do make it for the car, I've got to say. And to the custom tail light setup you're doing in here. Fantastic, mate. Thanks for joining us tonight on My Garage Rules. Well, okay, if you're wondering what I'm doing in the spa of another man, find out right after this break. Cheers. I'm here with Mike Bowden, or methanol Mike Bowden, we should be calling you. Now, mate, thanks for having us tonight on the show. And look, the first thing that we've noticed in your garage is that beautiful flathead sitting there. Tell us about that. What did that come out of?
Oh, it's a long story, that one. I've sort of been playing with flatheads most of my life. The old man had them and I grew up with them. And I had a 49 Ford Ute that I did when I was 16, French panel leather, and we decided to keep the flat in it and hot rod it as we do.
Yeah, it looks it, doesn't it? It's got the blower on there and the 3 carburetors as well.
Yeah,
wow.
We put all that stuff on it and made some decent horsepower and took it racing, took it to the shows, and then we took it up to Salt and had some fun up there.
Mate, we're talking Salt, now we're talking Lake Edward?
Yeah.
Oh wow, how did it do up there?
Pretty good actually. We before we put the blower on it, we ran it up there and we got the 100 mile an hour tag, so that was pretty cool for a full steel flying brick with a 49 shoebox.
Yep.
Yeah, that went pretty well. And then we added the blower on it. We went up there again the next year and we went 138.89 mile an hour.
We ran a flathead.
Out of a flathead. We rang its neck. That was the best we could get out of it. We were quite actually, I was quite amazed with that actually.
That's bound to impress somebody up there.
Well, that was the year the Yanks were over. 95, the Yanks came over for the International Speed Challenge.
Okay.
And you kind of know you're doing something right when the fastest guy on 4 wheels, Mr. LT,
Oh yes.
comes over, sticks his head under the hood after I'd done the 138 mile an hour and says, "Man, what have you got in that thing?"
Now he runs a stringliner type stuff.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, with a big T-flat single engine thing. He did actually hold the wheel-driven land speed record for a while. So he came over and he was suitably impressed with the little flathead performance.
That's unreal. And it just looks the part, doesn't it, that hot rod motor there. But look, the first thing that hits your eyes, as apart from the flathead, mate, over on the side there, this dragster. It is just right out of the 60s. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've been a hot rod all my life, and it just progressed into what I was driving wasn't going to be a race car. That was the 35. So we needed a dragster.
So the style of this dragster, tell the people, the folks at home now, you sit over the differential on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, like, how many cars have you driven that you can see all 4 wheels? You sit behind the diff basically is in between your legs. So, and they call them a slingshot because it's pretty much akin to being in the pouch of a slingshot and getting fired out of the hole.
Well, I've seen a poster there, it's like raising the whole front end, nosebleed and everything.
Yeah, we managed to get it up fairly high. We bent the wheelie bars a couple of times and we stood it up about a metre and a half, something like that. There's some pretty good photos of it.
Yeah, everything just is all nostalgia, the whole thing.
The car is actually original. It was built in '68 in Adelaide by a couple of guys by the name of somebody Albert and Gerlach, I believe.
Oh, wow.
It had a nitro.
A couple of German guys. They used to make Polish sausage.
They made a pretty good small block Chevy there actually because it was an Australian junior field record holder in the early '70s.
Got a pretty gutsy roll cage in the thing too.
The guy that I got it off did a bit of a restoration job on it and brought it up to current spec so you could actually race it. And I still race it.
So that's not the original roll cage in it?
No, the original roll cage is there. Andrew rules say you've got to have 6-point cage and all this stuff, and in the old days they only had 3-point. And like I said, most of that car is still the original car. It's been through various owners over the years and bits have been changed and added and all that, but it's still got the original push bar on the back and the original parachute hook.
Now we can't go past not talking about your 35 you've got there as well, a 35 Roadster. Now you were saying before that it's still got the original wood inside as well. Because I suppose not many people realise that a lot of these were framed out with wood.
When I bought the car, I still had the 49U. And
All steel? Still steel?
Yeah. To finish the Roadster, I had to sell the 49. So I kept flatting out of it, and that ended up in the Roadster. But it's an old steel 35 Roadster. The rig out's a fiberglass. I couldn't find it. But we rebuilt the whole package of mess when I got it. It wasn't, it's like 6x4 trailer job.
I love the firewall and everything.
As you said, the firewall and everything's all the original timber frame and everything that's in there because the 30s car was built with the frame like Coach built. And the guy that I got it off was going to restore it. And he'd already started, but I couldn't bring myself to take all that out for stealing it. It was so big, so I just left it there. And he stealed out the other half of it when he put it back on it. So.
I've got to ask you too, that gold flake on the dragster, is that your paint job as well?
Most of that was done by me. The cow section was done, and the graphics and everything was done by Home Island, and I built the whole front, like the bodywork on the front and all that.
Now, we've got to step outside because this thing is just so. Can I say ballsy on camera? I hope I can. But it is. It's. I just did, didn't I? This thing is black. It's two-door. It's mean. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a 67 Ford Galaxy hardtop. It's an original 390 big block car. But it's got a 428.
Such a wide motor though.
It is like huge. Yeah. It's got a 428 proper jet in it. 2600 volleys.
Yeah.
And it's a top loader, so it's a 428 4-speed clone of what they built 138 of. Yeah, bench seat, 4-speed.
Beautiful interior too.
Yeah,
is that original?
It's original style.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I got the car, it was spring-bone yellow. It just so we had to toughen it up a little bit. So
just a little bit, yeah.
So and black trim, so we went black with red trim.
Yeah. So and something totally off the ball here. We've got an XP, is it? In the driveway with a lace roof and the dash and everything. Wow. Just
a little fill-in project. I thought I'd just squeeze in there while I was waiting to get it.
Why not?
Well, we break the transmission in the dragster, so I thought we'd squeeze something else out there and have a play with that, and then we'll try and move that on and that'll fund the dragster again to get it back on the track.
Looks good. So you actually put physically lace on the roof
to spray
over the top of it.
They used to do it back in the old days, you know, and it's not as easy as it looks. But yeah, you pretty much get your Mars lace curtains, can't help it out of watching.
Just in case everyone's wondering, don't do that, you go buy some, I suppose.
Yeah, well, you can go and buy it, you just spray down the metal flake or whatever and lay the lace over the top and dust a contrasting colour across the top of the lace, peel that off, clear over it.
So we've got dragsters, we've got hot rods, we've got classic muscle cars there as well. Just want to touch on something that's really close to your heart as well. You're lucky to be here.
I am.
You're lucky that you're a survivor.
I am.
You're not say a battler, but mate, the attitude that you've got with your cancer and how you went through your treatment, it's just like if somebody just blew a trans. What the hell, we'll just get a new trans. So just tell us, what happened with your cancer just quickly?
Well, it's easy to, sort of put that out there, but it does sort of put you on the inside. But, I was diagnosed with a lymphoma in the stomach. That took a lot of diagnosing, basically. They didn't know what was wrong with me, I didn't know what was wrong with me, and basically it ate through the wall of my lower intestine and bled to death. So we've been battling that, we've been through chemo.
So does motor racing help, like motor cars? And
all I wanted to do when I was in intensive care, when I was conscious, I just wanted to get out and do some skids and in the dragster or whatever, and drive a hot rod. When I was in hospital, I wanted to get up to Europa. So I made sure I was out of hospital for that, but I can hardly walk.
So now we've got to talk about this tattoo on your arm.
Yeah, that's my little tribute to beating the cancer so far. It's the Grim Reaper with his hand on his gear stick, and I kicked his ass, so it's got to outrun the Reaper.
Well, mate, you're an inspiration, and thanks for letting us sit in the spa. For those who don't realise, it's really hot in Adelaide at the moment.
It's about 43 degrees.
Something like that. But it's probably about 28 in here. It's quite nice, isn't it? And we've got cocktails and everything like that. But look, we really appreciate you letting us come out to your garage. I'm talking out with your stuff.
I get this strange sensation coming over me when I come to pick you up from your job at KFC. There's nothing but roadworks and damn red lights, and if I don't get a green one, road rage, baby, trying to get to you.
My Garage Rules is proudly supported by Sprint Auto Parts, proudly South Australian owned and operated since 1984. And you pull it, you save, you betcha.